And here we are, beginning our last year as a teenager. Cal? Wait, are you he's already 20 even. Oh, we have more like a description. You're 19 years old and stay calm when others get frazzled. You're a polydactyl, like many great photofauna players. The natural world reveals its secrets to you, and logic puzzles are no match for your powers of reasoning. Huh. Cool. There's still 3 people I haven't met. Interesting. Well, hey Cal. Cal is sitting on the garden fence, his feet laced up through the slats as he balances a container of cut up potato on his lap. Hey, it's Solana, he calls out. Time for a break? Come on over and help me finish this. He skewers a piece of potato on his fork and drives it towards your mouth. Beep beep! Open up for a timely reminder that we've made ourselves part of this planet's ecosystem and have to deal with the consequences. Yep. And on that note, I think after that dream, I might want to go see. I can survey the ridge now. Let me review the map really quick. So the Prosaic Plains is where the first place we had gone, and that's north. Valley of Vertigo is where the mixed up paths are, and then there's the Wrestling Ridges, which is that the hot arid? Yeah, that's the hot arid area. I mean, we could try to survey the ridge, since that's a place we've never been to, but yet we've seen it in our dreams. So, hey Utopia? The only way to the Wrestling Ridges is by glider, part vehicle, part kite, all adrenaline. You'll land on the rocky, broken-up spine of the nearest ridge and fall over when you look down at the plummeting slopes to the basin below. You are a long way up. Utopia glides in beside you and steadies you. Careful, Solana, she says. I need to keep your wits about you out here. You don't much like the idea of sending you out solo, but we're spreading our resources pretty darn while investigating Convergent Domain ruins. Convergent Domain? Ruins? You look around. The landscape is like nothing you've ever seen before. Dry, cracked soil gives way to steep cliffs, and what little vegetation here is bristle and sharp. You can feel the dry air wick all the moisture from your lips. Wait, what is that? What are those stone structures in the distance? Well, there are buildings here, Utopia says. Traces of them anyways. Maybe 10,000-20,000 years old. We sure didn't put them there. We checked them out, but not thoroughly. Mostly just trying to feel for who lived here. And why they ain't here no more, based on the glyphs, we've started calling them the Convergent Domain. Whoever they were, they built things to last, Utopia admires. It ain't just arrowheads and cave paintings. There's real architecture, machines even. I wish I had more to tell you, Utopia says. Most everything we've found just poses new questions. The structure reads more organic than anything. So does that mean gene tech was super advanced? As for this place, we think it's some kind of solar network for them, she says, squinting up into the 2 suns. Looking at it from above, you can see big lines traveling up and down the ridge, like power lines. And there's hardly any plant life elsewise, like they soaked up all the energy and made it a desert. But what they use that energy for, she says. And if there was a civilization so big and so advanced on Vertumna, why can't we find more traces of it? Where are the cities? What were them thumpers for? And what happened to them all? She's right, that's a lot of questions. Maybe you can help find some answers. Maybe I'll also be able to find some answers for myself, too. And what about that crystal stuff? Oh, those, Utopia says, pointing to a crystal formation so densely packed into the ravine that it looks like a sparkling river. More outcroppings of crystals decorate the slopes. They're all over the place. Be careful with them. Not sure if they're animal, vegetable, or mineral. She points off into the distance. There's a big island of them over there, like a glacier. It covers the whole place. Might be related to the convergent domain, but we aren't sure yet. And what's that glowing thingy on the ground? You point it out. Utopia gives it a nudge with her foot. Beats me, she says. You unearth the object. It's pulsing with light and warm to the touch. Hold up, Utopia says. Don't just go picking things up, Solana. It could be radioactive, you know? Utopia waves her holopalm crystal over and then checks her interface. Only a little, she concludes. Whatever it is, it looks old, like thousands of years old. We've been digging up glowing gadgets all over this region, but got no clue what they're for. You hang on to that one. Maybe you'll figure it out? Okay. So anyways, those ruins are the main thing we need to survey while you're out here, Utopia says. But keep an eye out for anything else weird. Utopia claps the dust off her hands. Well, my job here is done. You're all set, kid. Try not to fall off a cliff. Yep. Okay. Oh, doesn't it usually give like an overview on this place? This little gazebo is set as a waiting area for the automated transporters, which trundle back and forth between here and the colony. A sign reads, Autobus Depot, Western Wrestling Ridge. Watercats drone 4L of water per day required in this zone. Should you experience dizziness, hallucinations, or loss of time, please report the location for further study. Okay. Well, this means this is also going to be like the Valley of Vertigo, where we have to stay on a strict path. And it looks like there's something here. A precarious natural land bridge drops down sharply on both sides. You kick a rock over the side, but don't hear it hit the bottom. We can try to cross carefully. You shuffle across it slowly, examining the cracks and sticking to the solid places. You accidentally send a few more pebbles skittering over the edge, and think, better than me. Okay. So what's this way? Okay, so both ways it looks like there's something to investigate stopping us. The sun goes behind a cloud and you feel a light splatter of rain. It sizzles into the dry, hot ground around you, providing a little relief from the heat of the day. Then you realize you don't see a single cloud in the sky ahead of you, and it almost never rains in the Western Wrestling Ridges. The plants here rely on nighttime dew for moisture. So what is it? Oh! A herd of float cows are bobbing overhead like hot air balloons, drifting west in the prevailing winds. You've seen these creatures being milked on the colony's farms. During migration season, their helium sacs swell to make them lighter in the air so they can safely travel great distances. You've also heard that what they're used for ballast? That wasn't rain at all. That was float cow piss. You try to dodge another shower, but it splatters down on you, soaking your head and shoulders. Ah, gross. At least the heat makes it evaporate quickly. Yeah, but now we just have urine on us, which is gross. Oh. Oh. Okay. So... Huh. You're getting thirsty. You can feel your backup canteen. You feel for your backup canteen, but it's missing. Somehow you lost it since you left this morning, and you're all out of drinking water. The suns are high and hot in the sky, making the ground waver, and the haze heat migraines. Your mouth feels dry, so dry your head is starting to ache. You're pretty far from the outpost. You can make it back, but that'd be it for this expedition. You'd have to go home. We can try to look for water. Hmm. Oh, I still got 33. There's no natural water around here, but in your search, you turn up your lost canteen. Wow, that was lucky. Huh. Oh. Whoa. I saw something floating down there. You're trudging along when suddenly you're buffeted by a hot wind. No, like very hot wind, lethally hot. The ridges are already baking, but all of a sudden it feels like you're trapped under a nuclear reactor. Your skin dries out and your lips begin to crack. Your eyeballs feel like sandpaper. Maybe I can check out whatever this is. Utopia has sent you to study one of the large crystal outcroppings. Up close, you can't help but get the sense that they're alive somehow. They're angular and hard to the touch, but they have some sort of sponginess and warmth to them that's a little disconcerting. They emit a humming noise. And I got a super goal. You notice that they hummed loudest at midday, under the full sun. The few crystals that have grown under the shaded outcroppings are less vibrant than the others. They remind you of the convergent domain tech. I guess we can try seeing what happens when they block the sun. On a hunch, you come up with some ferns. After an hour, it stops vibrating. Something deep inside it has gone dormant. The crystal turns clear, like the ones that were shadowed naturally. When you remove the fronds, the colors return. I don't want to hurt them, but maybe we could try? They do indeed have roots, and they're really tough. You dig around the base of one and expose them so you can see. They're made of the same glass, but rough and frosted and warm, much warmer than the surrounding soil. The roots go down deeper than you can dig. You won't be able to remove one without breaking it. Maybe, is this like a solar panel of some sort? You wiggle one of the crystals like a tooth. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Boom. You're thrown by the explosion. When the dust settles, you brush off the shards of warm crystal. You realize that some of the nearby crystals have exploded. Are they connected underground? There's so much energy in these things. Like you blew up a battery. You wonder if they gather energy from the sun or from geothermal heat. Maybe if you harvested them, they could be used to power things in the colony. Oh, that's probably what the convergent domain used them for. These crystals are like living solar panels. You dust yourself off and scribble excitedly in your survey notes. This is an important scientific discovery. Well, we might not be able to pass further that way, but maybe this way we can try again? A beautiful little locust lands on your arm. It calmly washes its face with its forearms and vibrates its wings like it's cooling off. Oh, the poor little guy is all alone. You can try to be friends with it. 1, 2, 3. And 36. Oh, it was a super goal too. You look up at your holopalm. It's a mask wing, named because when it's frightened, it opens its wings all the way and flips them forward, making it look like a grimacing manticore. Scary! But even scarier is how much they can eat. They usually eat leafy plant matter, but they're not above eating fabric, wood, hair, or even skin. They swarm in dust and in the hot places like the ridges. You see something out of the corner of your eye and look up from your new friend. Oh, In the distance you see a haze above the ground. It's the locust, each one bigger than your fist. These insectoids can eat their weight in under an hour. There are millions of them out there, and they'll be here soon. Your buddy takes off to join its friends, and you gotta go. You make it to your glider in time, thankfully. You come back to this place later in the week. What foliage there had been is now stripped bare. The only things still standing are the crystals glinting in the sun. Okay. What's this? You come across a particularly flat area, a large field of obsidian. Well, obsidian is the only word you have for it, but you've never seen obsidian this bright. It's like a rainbow trapped underneath the glossy black surface, like the entire ground here is polished black opal. The field glints under the sun at certain angles, momentarily blinding you. It looks slippery and shiny. You find a patch that is a little different and take some readings. You confirm this material is not natural. It must have been created by the convergent domain, because it's the same stuff they make the thumpers out of, silica, mixed with some trace of organic elements. By looking at the striations in the cliffs nearby, you determine that this entire region used to be covered in a thick sheet of this dark glossy rock. In most places there is now a layer of soil over it, but if you dig down far enough you'll probably find this layer everywhere, like the whole place has been glassed. No wonder there are so few plants here. The convergent domain must have paved this area to discourage plant life from growing, all except the crystals, which seem to sprout happily from the obsidian pavement. You're too worn out and tired to continue. You have to go home now. And we're back. And I guess we'll rest up next time.